Hi everyone, welcome back to Genesis Data. I'm your host Bahles Tole, and in the previous episode, we were able to discover the journey of Percival Phakathi, his key projects, but we were also able to see the impact of AI in the field of data science. In today's episode, though, we will be looking at something different. Well, as we will be discovering the key skills that are required to be a successful data scientist. Not only that, we'll also see the different fields within data. So let's get started.
But yeah, we were speaking about advice you give someone who is entering the data science field.
So basically, as also mentioned, that's the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
And you cannot skip that. And I know a lot of data science courses are giving that. They're giving, I don't know what they're teaching, right? Because you need to understand there's a lot of mathematics that you need to understand to
Yeah.
be honest, right? And you cannot really jump that without really sitting down into an official class that will able to teach you and solve integration, solve vector analysis, understand that thing, understand distribution theory, understand probability theory, understand uh, all of those linear function equations. Then you can now say, okay, cool, I understand this.
Yeah.
Those are fundamental. The reason why I'm stressing to this because of AI, right? Whatever that these courses are teaching, it's a simple prompt that any CEO can actually write on and write it down and say, okay, cool, please help me do this. And the AI will able to do it. But what they will not able to take away from you is your understanding of mathematics.
Mm.
Your understanding of statistics. Those are your fundamentals.
Mm.
And if you get that done, then you are secure. You are almost career safety, right? And you are also secure in your ability to solve problems. Because there's another thing of a lot of people that have seen in any career, that the imposter syndrome, right? They have so much imposter syndrome that, yeah, exactly. They are not secure on the ability to solve problems. And that happens most of the time. It stays like that most of the time because you don't have good fundamentals. So your foundation, maths and stats, then you can now learn your programming languages. Now, whatever programming languages of the day, right? When I was in varsity, R was the programming language that we were supposed to learn, but now
Yeah.
it's Python,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I was gonna say SAS is another programming language that people were learning, but now it's Python.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years from here it's not going to be Python. So what is the use of focusing your energy and say I'm learning Python, which someone else, the industry changed like that 5 years later and say Python is not the it anymore. Let's learn something else. You know what I mean? And you are now a Python specialist who we don't need.
Yeah. But you being
Exactly,
able
right?
to understand and being able to solve problems, like it really puts you in a better position because you can adapt to anything. You know.
Exactly. And remember, the business is not paying you to write code. It's paying you because you have the ability to solve problems.
No, well said.
And that ability, yes, and that ability comes straight from your fundamentals. And that's what I think. And I think also, just to speak about careers, right? There's in data science, I think there's also a difference between a data scientist, a data analyst, and a data engineer, right? So, and those are things that are very important to talk about in the industry. So the data analyst, this is the person who used previous historical data to tell the story,
So,
right? To tell the current story. So, okay, cool. This is your previous data. This is your historical data, and this is the story. And then we'll tell you what's going on. We'll tell the business.
yeah.
And then a data scientist, he can also tell the story like a data analyst, but he goes further. He used the previous data to predict the future. So to tell you what's going to happen in the
In
future.
the future. Yeah.
Right.
Using
And then
just to stop you there, like when you do that, you use like machine learning, right? You use
exactly, yes.
deep learning or things like that.
Yes.
Okay, now you can
Yes.
continue. Just
You use machine learning. and because I'm biased, I always see this as math equation, right? If I'm looking at
Yeah.
any machine learning that you think of, like any machine learning model that you can think of. For me, I'm like, look, what is the equation behind this machine learning? Because when they give it to you, what you learn from this course is it's a simple. They give you simple what you call it's
Model.
it's how, it doesn't work like that in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just plug and play an equation and then you expect good results in real life. Data is complex, right? And some machine learning algorithms, they simplified that anyone can use. Just fine tune certain parameters and then you're good to go. However, that you come to a point where even if you fine tune those parameters, you don't get the best results. And that's when then the mathematics steps in. It's like, okay, cool, what is the math equation behind this k-means clustering algorithm? Okay, great. This is the math equation. Then how do we then change the math equation to speak to what we want? Then add other parameters in that math equation to speak what we want.
Yeah.
Then the K-means mechanism, the K-means clustering algorithm, the K-means clustering algorithm become a K-means clustering algorithm with some complexity, with some flavor of your own, right? Because you are solving a complex problem. Because the problem that we're solving are really, really complex.
Yeah.
They not any algorithm or models that are available, machine learning models are available. You could just simply plug and play. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, most of the time you will sit down and like, my goodness, I've just spent a 20-hour course on these type of machine learning algorithm that I can do,
But
but there
you're not
isn't any
working.
that is giving you the best results, right? You do
Yeah.
your test, your mean square errors, they're like, what's happening? You get your all of that,
Yeah, now
all
you
of
are
that.
thinking your life, your decisions and everything.
And that's what I'm saying. And this is what these courses are doing. They're just teaching machine learning. They're not teaching data science,
Data science.
right? And machine learning is basically a simplified version of stats and mathematics. Like anyone can then take these machine learning models. And then then we got the data engineers or the machine learning
Definitely.
engineers. Yeah. So those are so data engineers that are people who are doing the pipelines to make sure that the data flows in a nice way, store data. Machine learning engineer, those are the people who then do the same thing as data scientists, but they go further. They then deploy these algorithms. So they deploy these algorithms into a system that is working for a client to be able to see, right? They're able to integrate your models to sit somewhere in a prod environment or in a dev environment so that other people can be able to use. So those are the different careers in a data space. Data engineer, data scientist, data analyst, and machine learning engineer. And yeah,
No,
and all of
definitely.
those, yeah, and
Yeah.
all of those people need to know your computer science. I think computer science is it's good course to do. Applied maths is a good course to do. Statistics is a good course to do. Yeah, those are the main ones. I mean, you can have other ones, but computer science or IT, maths, or stats.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
But what we have been able to mention so far is that you need to be able to think critically, which is mathematics. That's a very important one. And the second thing that
Yeah.
we spoke about is the language. You need to now step into a language, but yeah, the most important is mathematics and statistics. And then what
Yeah.
else? Because I've heard about or I've been able to work with SQL as well. I've been able to work with
Oh yes,
Power
yes,
BI as well, things like that.
yes.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, SQL will help you. Yeah, those are the main one, right? Python, SQL, SQL. Those are programming languages. Python, SQL. SQL will help you to extract the data, get it from any data source. It will help you that. It will help you to analyze data better with SQL. So a data analyst, they need to understand SQL to be able to extract data from any data source or database. And Power BI, Looker Studio. So Power BI for Microsoft, Looker Studio for Google, um, um, AWS, they have something as well.
Yeah.
but still developing it. And then there is Tableau, the
Tableau,
most
yes,
popular one.
yes, definitely. Yeah.
Tableau, Power BI, Looker Studio. Power BI is expensive. You need to have a license for it. That's how I check. And Tableau. But Looker Studio, it's a free version. You can have a free version on Google. That's a good thing about Google. You can have free versions and then go to premium, but you can do much with free version. Literally, you can tap business with the free version Looker Studio. So can look into that. If someone wants to know, okay, what is the business intelligence? I call this business intelligence tool because BI developer. Because there's also a career called BI developer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the BI developer, this is the person who then still use the historical data, but to present it in a way that a business person can just click and able to see what's going on, right? An analyst, they tell you the story, right? But a BI developer, they enable the business person to say what is really going on at the branch X, how much sales did we make, and all of it, and able to see that in a very visual way. So that's basically it. So it's able to visualize your story, essentially.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm able to understand well, like the roadmap, as people say, the roadmap to it. But yeah, like for someone who has joined or who is already in the career, right? Maybe it's a junior because you are a senior data scientist. Maybe what
Yeah.
advice would you give that person, like from being a senior to becoming, I mean, from being a junior to becoming a senior data scientist?
I would say find yourself in a space where you can solve problems that are impacting people. Like it's nothing, it's nothing nice. I'm Zulu, right?
Yeah,
Like, I have to, my cousins, like your cousin, will come and say, "What are you doing?" And then I'll tell them, and I have to explain what I'm doing in Zulu. And there's in the language, right? There's in vocab of what I'm doing in Zulu, but I have to explain to them such that they understand,
understand. Yeah,
right? And the problem that I'm solving, they have to be so tangible, such that a 5-year-old cousin of mine understand that Putu is doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Exactly. So I would say number one, if you're joining a company, just make sure you're joining a company that will help you solve problems that are that are that are impactful to people. And number two, upskill as much as possible. Because that we're growing quick. The industry is growing quick.
yeah.
Upskill as much as possible. So make sure you got your fundamental rights, and make sure that anything that comes in an industry, not anything, of course, but anything that is relevant to you, upskill as much as possible. So make sure you read a lot of articles. Make sure you do your. I normally do Udemy courses if I want to upskill on certain things that I don't know, or YouTube. But sometimes YouTube is so many noise. It's
Yeah.
hard to search on YouTube. I won't lie, especially with courses that you need to study. But
That's true.
Udemy, for me, it's way better. I
Yeah,
think it's
because
Coursera. I've never used Coursera.
I've been thinking of the Udemy course, which not really Udemy, but IPM course, which is like an
Okay.
introduction to data science. What do you think about that course, or what courses would you maybe suggest?
I can tell you the courses that I did when I started. And those
Okay.
are the courses, and then I need to remember them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to promote them here, but I can tell you the courses that I don't want to promote them. Also, I don't remember them, but when I started, literally, I remember there was like a 3 month period or 6 month period where, remember when you're starting with this theory, especially with PSC, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Hmm.
And you don't know what you know,
But yeah,
you know?
that's
Exactly. So you like, okay, cool. I know integration by parts, right? Or integral by parts, but I don't understand how that is applicable to what I'm trying to solve. I know there's a cubic function. What does that, how can I use cubic function to solve a problem? Literally, I've used y is equal to x cubed to actually solve a problem in the marketing space,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Literally.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, what is maxima, minima? What does, when the graph turns, you know what I mean? What does that really mean? What does that really look like into business? How do you interpret that to make sense out of it? But I think those courses that really help me to say, okay, cool. These are your stats, these are your mathematics, this is machine learning now, and then this is Python, and then this is how you do it. And they give you like sort of a structure on how you structure your code as well, and how you write your code, because code standards are very important. And all of this, you start now learning about GitHub, which is a place where you can collaborate with other developers, especially in a company. I think one of the skills that you need to know, GitHub or
Definitely.
Bitbucket, where you add Bitbucket of GitHub, but technically just learning Git language, right? Because it's at GitHub they're using a Git language.
No, I understand.
So I'll say, yeah, so I'll say Python for programming. I'll say Luca because Luca is free. I'll say Git just for collaboration. And I'll say, what am I missing? Excel. Excel,
Books
I'm
up.
telling you something, brother. Yes, I'm telling you something.
Yeah.
You'll be so frustrated how much business love Excel, right? They're
How
like,
much? Sorry, can you repeat that?
how much business love Excel?
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
have nice Power BI, uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Dashboards.
yes. And
Yeah.
then the next question will be like, can I export this to Excel?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Excel is so important to a
Yeah.
certain extent,
It's
but
it's
yeah,
um it's crazy because with all the like advancement in technology and software, but still people like believe in Excel. They still like love Excel. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So to make
definitely.
your life easier and able to work with other people in the business, especially the less technical people in the business, and you need to understand Excel. You need to be able to not dumb it down, but to take whatever that you have and be also able to present it in the Excel format, whatever it is, right? That's also still important. Like writing those formulas in Excel is still something that I still do. Not all the time, but I still do.
Yeah.
Especially if I need to communicate. Because now, you know what I mean? You need to be able to communicate, bridge the gap, right? Between, okay, that's our job as data scientists, is to able to communicate our solutions to clients and to people that are with, so that they can able to say, okay, cool, this is what we are doing and understand it. And the best way to do it sometimes in Excel.
It's a bad thing. Oh, okay. Hey, but Percival, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks so much for your insights and your experience. It's been really incredible for us, and I hope it can be able to help another person. Especially, it will help me because I'm still pursuing to be a data scientist, to be honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope you enjoy also your career as well and grow even much more. But thank you so much for joining us.
Jobe, thank you so much as well. And thank you for inviting me. And again, as I mentioned on our communication is, I'm happy that you're doing this. Keep doing it. Don't stop. I think it's needed.
Yeah.
You're creating something very important for our space, and doing this will only not help us as the industry, but also help you to advance your career. And what you are doing right now, it will definitely fast track your career. It's one of the best way to be a senior in any industry
Yeah.
is to position yourself as an expert. And what you're doing exactly that, right? And you position yourself as an ex and as an and as an expert, and you are publishing your expertise, and it's very important. You know, publish expertise, communicate it, try, don't stop, continue doing that, and before you know it, you know your peers, they will never catch up on what you already built. They will never catch up. And yeah, keep
Hey,
going.
don't be careful, Percival. I post this on to my peers, so I don't want them to be
Ah,
jealous.
Thanks so much for joining in today's episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on the latest videos. As Percival said in the interview, that companies are not paying you to write code, but they are paying you to solve real world problems. So what we'll be doing in the next episode is that we'll be solving real world data science problems. So for you to be prepared, to be confident in your coding skills, make sure to be able to stay updated and to subscribe so that you can be able to be updated on the latest videos. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.